gonna have Brian on too, or is he
Yeah,
MIA?
yeah, he should be.
All attendees are in listen-only mode.
All right, I'd like to welcome everybody to another office hours here today. If you guys could just let me know, we got a lot of people coming on right now. Just in the question box, if you can hear me, just give me a one. Let me know. Pull this down so I can see. All right. Okay, George O'Brien, Paul, Josh, Ron, Skip, Jason. Excellent, excellent. I'm glad everyone's come on and we can everyone can hear and see us. We got Josh Fletcher. He's gonna join us today. So Josh, you on? Oh, there he is.
Yeah, I was talking away and didn't have my button unmuted. So yeah, hey everybody, how's it going? Always a pleasure to be on with Joe. I think he's got some great stuff to kind of frame guys, up on proposal process and really not only what to do and how to do it, technology and all that kind of thing, but also really what it can lead to. He was just sharing some really cool ways that he asks questions with me before we started. So I'm anxious to get into that and see how this all progresses. So yeah, we had a huge webinar last night, and I'm still recovering a little bit from it, but I'll definitely be on and help out in any way I can.
Yeah. All right, and then hopefully Fletch, he's having his office hours are starting up Sunday, so maybe he can give us a sneak peek into that too later on. So
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, we're gonna start 11 a.m. on 11 a.m. Eastern on Sunday. So yeah, we'll talk a little bit of that, later today in this session, and let people know what's going on and why and how it works with what Joe's going to be sharing here today.
all right, fantastic. All right, guys. So we're kind of gonna what I like to do in my office hours. I like to do some question answer, some hot seat, and then get into a little bit of content, a little bit of things to help you guys out in getting clients. The last few office hours have been on going out and doing some belly-to-belly sales, meeting with people, going to referral meetings, getting out of your comfort zone, and also setting up referral sources, meaning when you go to these meetings, you try to set up lunch or another meeting with someone that you meet there, not to sell them your service, but to have them advocate your service to the people they know, so they become your referral sources. So I know last week we talked about a strategic alliance, meaning I don't know if anyone here has any questions on that, or do you guys understand what that is, like a strategic alliance or strategic alliance meeting, what that would be? Just give me a one in the question box if you do, or two if you don't. Okay, let's see, 2, 1, 2 if you don't. Okay. All right. Well, basically what a strategic alliance meeting is when you go and you meet somebody for the first time. Say you go to a chamber of commerce, or you go to a BNI group, or you just engage in conversation with somebody on what you do. If you could set up a meeting and find out what they do in depth, and you both refer, and then what you do is you set up a referral partner where they refer you to the people they know, you refer them to to the people that you know, and then they become basically a referral source. And a lot of it goes into the first office hours we did a few weeks ago. When you meet somebody for the first time, instead of just spilling out everything that you do, I do SEO, I rank websites, I can rank your website number one. You go more into maybe asking them more questions about their business, why they got involved in what they do, what they like about what they do. And you start a conversation and you become kind of get on a mutual ground with them where they see you as someone who has an interest in their business and an interest in what they do. And it really, really takes their guard down. And the conversation flows a lot easier and it makes you a lot more comfortable because you're not feeling like you have to sell them. So there's no pressure on your part. You're just asking them questions to find out more about their business, and they're giving you answers. And then, in turn, they're going to ask you more about your business. And that's where, I usually keep it pretty brief. And then I ask them, hey, why don't we set up a lunch meeting and we can both find out more about what we do and how we can refer each other. And then it's in that meeting where I'll ask them more, find out more about their business, but then I'll explain more about what I do. And I may even give them some advice on what they can do, but I don't ever pitch them or try to sell them, but I try to educate them. And when I educate them, then they tend to view me as the expert and they advocate my business. So it's kind of an educate, advocate kind of deal where they see you as the expert, and then before you know it, somebody is talking about how they need a website done or they need this. They say, well, I know a guy, he knows a lot about this. And so and what I was telling you last week, what I was wanting to see is how many people could go to a chamber meeting or referral meeting, right? They're all over the place. And as you talk to people, don't try to set up a sale right there. Try to set up one of these strategic meetings, just a lunch meeting or just something that you can go somewhere and sit down and talk about their business. That was it. And what you'll find is if you do enough of those, not everyone is going to refer you, but you may find one guy who knows everybody who may refer you a ton of business. Just for an example, when I used to go to the chambers a lot, I met my videographer there, and I hired him to do a lot of my videos, and we did a strategic meeting. He introduced me to a carpet cleaner, and that carpet cleaner, I did a client interview, which I'm going to go over a little bit what that is. And I did a proposal for the carpet cleaner, and the carpet cleaner did not hire me for my services. Right? So, but what happened was I left such an impression with that carpet cleaner. He didn't hire me because he couldn't afford me, which, was fine. But he was so impressed with the question I asked, he referred me to another client who did water damage. And that client ended up being, for me, it was one of my first clients that it was like a $32,000 client. And that was from going to the chamber, talking to people, setting up meetings, then going, and it wasn't a direct, I met this guy, I sold the contract, I made money. But because as I went through all these steps, I kept putting my name out there and putting my expertise out there. I became known as the expert. So you never know where the clients are going to come from. So let me ask you, does anyone have any questions on any of this that we're talking about or anything in general? Just put them in the question box and we can try to, excuse me, and we can answer them as we go. David Zillman says, went to my first chamber meeting this week, met some people. It was a good experience. Good, David. That's awesome. And also, anyone who wants to come on for a hot seat, just come on and let me know in the question box here, and we will we'll bring you on. Oh, okay. We got here a couple people that are waiting to come live. I got a bunch of questions coming in. Let me hit some of these questions. Jason says, I do have a question about this, Joe. I actually set up a meeting with a nonprofit. It just fell in my lap. They want to bring the zoo back to our local park, so they need a site set up. I wouldn't get paid for it. Okay. But they're well connected. Jason, let me you feel all right. How about Jason, do you have a microphone? Okay, Jason, I'm gonna bring on, I got a couple of people we didn't get to last week on the hot seats. So I'm gonna get right into that. And then what we'll do is we'll do a couple of hot seats, and then I'm gonna go into my interview process with a client. So, once I meet with a client, a potential client, I kind of do it a little differently the way I set up that first meeting. It's more of an interview I do with them, and that sets the stage to the way I do my proposal, what I'm going to offer them, or even if I'm going to work with them. And that interview also sets me up as the expert. So we're going to go into that in a little bit. So, but right now, let me bring on Bridge. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. Let me unmute here.
Hello.
Hello. How do you pronounce your name?
I pronounce it like bridge.
Bridge.
Like the bridge. Yeah.
Okay, Bridge. And you're from Dubai, you said?
Yeah, right. I'm living in Dubai.
All right, fantastic. Great. Okay, so Bridge, you have a hot seat question. So why don't we do this? I know we're kind of getting started here. What I like to do is I like everyone to just, if we can do a hashtag hot seat in the Facebook group, just to get things going a little bit, just so people know that we're starting up here and we're doing a hot seat. And that way, there we go. All right, yeah, great. That way, it kind of gets people knowing we're doing hot seats, and I know everyone likes them, because oftentimes many people are having problems and they just don't know they are, or they don't know the right questions they ask, and these hot seats are real helpful. So, Bridge, myself and Fletch are here. So, what is it? What is your question?
Yeah, thanks. Thank you, Joe, and to bringing me live. And I need your help. My question is not directly related with SEO, but it might help others also. I need your help in planning where to start and how to go ahead. Actually, I did the same mistake that you told us not to do in your first webinar. After joining OMG, I first started with affiliate marketing. I made a couple of videos, ranked them on YouTube, but unfortunately, I was unable to monetize them. So, and also I felt in affiliate marketing that the payment is not instant. I will have to wait for a month or more than that to get paid. And in the last few months, I invested a good amount of money, and now I am in need of instant cash. So I decided that I should go for client consulting, where I can talk to clients and I can get paid instantly. But the problem is I am from India and I'm living in Dubai on my company's visa. So legally, I am not allowed to run my own agency or do any trading unless I get a business license. To get a business license, I will have to quit my job that I cannot afford at this time. And when I go through all the webinars and all the videos on OMG, I get very excited, but then I feel like I'm unable to do that. Like over the shoulder series, where I learned how to make mycityseo.com and how to make that live. But I cannot get here a business address or a business phone number because I'm not allowed to do that. And also, I got very excited after watching the webinar of Cotton Grammar's Duda Mobile. But I was unable to consult any local client, because if my organization comes to know, then immediately I will get fired. So I want to know that what should I do in this kind of situation and how to go ahead.
Well, so let me get this straight. You can't do client consulting. So even if someone came to you and they said, okay, Bridge, I'm a plumber in San Diego and I would like you to take me on as a client, you couldn't accept him as a client.
Yeah, if someone is outside Dubai, then definitely I can help that. But here I cannot go to the local client.
Okay, so if you ranked the site, say, and I'm not saying to do this, but say you ranked in a city, you picked a city, say you picked, you know, um, San Francisco, and you ranked the site San Francisco SEO, you bought a tracking number from the US, had it forwarded to your number. Are
Okay.
you allowed to do that?
Yeah,
Okay.
I can.
So you can put up a SEO site or your own site in the US. You don't have to be in the US to do it. Um, that's one. Two, I mean, there's a lot of different ways. I mean, obviously your situation's different, so you have to work with what you have. There is a module that I did on CPA, which is cost per action, where you can get companies that will pay you for leads. So say you put up a site on window repair. Well, every lead you send this company, they give you a certain amount of money per lead. Now, that's not going to be as fast money as if you get a client, but what you can do is it's a start. You start selling the leads to this CPA company that's paying you a low margin. They're going to pay you a low amount of money for it. And if you record those leads, you can then in turn go and sell those leads to either a new client in the US by using those recordings. You can lease that site out. You can prospect for clients with that site. So, I mean, that's one way to go about it. It's not going to be, I know if you need money right now, this instant, obviously the fastest way is to get a client. Let me ask Fletch. Fletch, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm not a lawyer or anything like that, so I don't know, all the intricacies of, international business and exactly what you can do, but, it's one of those things where, it may seem like it's easier for people who are able to walk up and go to a local chamber and do some FaceTime and, start to, create a dialogue that way, but there's huge opportunities in becoming resourceful. And, the fact that you are from, India, living in Dubai, speaking English, and, pretty much at the top of the game for search engine optimization, you've actually got a lot of resources that people who just live in the United States do not. So, what I would look at, I know that the United States really is kind of at the forefront of people, actively Googling and buying things off the internet. So, but at the same time, it's certainly not the only place that that makes use of, as far as the culture goes, of jumping on Google and finding solutions to their problems. So, you might be able to, and I'm just throwing ideas out here, you could set up an agency back in India and you could field the phone calls, remotely while you are out of country or in Dubai. You could shoot videos and become very personable on those videos and market yourself either in India or Australia or United States or United Kingdom for that matter. And, being international in that respect, you could use that to your advantage as far as positioning goes, as far as, starting that story. I'm going to be getting in, more into that as we kind of roll through the summer here. I'm putting together a bunch of a new module on that. But I would try to make use of it. A lot of people try to, kind of hide behind, who they really are, or, oh, really, I'm this guy and I'm trying to pretend to be this other persona to sell my services or sell affiliate marketing or whatever it might be. But there's a distinct advantage to people that are international. You know, quite frankly, having a little bit of an accent and telling a story, Americans love that. You know, it's kind of like, well, this guy is a hell of a lot more courageous than me. I don't even put myself on videos, and here this person is, who's not even in his home country, marketing to a third country. He must really know his stuff. And so I would try to, well, yeah, I would try to become as resourceful with taking advantage of your strengths as you can. And I think something along one of those lines would be really a pretty cool opportunity if you can just get behind it. You speak incredibly well. You're very, you know, gifted in that respect. I would make use of it.
Yeah, thank you, Fletch. In fact, I was thinking of making a video, a couple of video with my own voice and with my own picture, the real one, and putting in YouTube. But I was very much hesitating in doing that. So I think that setting up an agency in India and which will assist me in all financial transactions, and from there operating to all over the world, that I can do. And what do you say? Should I proceed like that?
I think that sounds great. I think you'd really be in a strong position to do that. The other thing I would really make sure you do with that positioning is to contrast yourself with kind of just the Indian outsourcers who kind of do generic white label stuff. If you really create a strong brand and discuss the fact that, you know, you learn your SEO and the best practices from, you know, people in the United States that rank internationally with the kind of process that we follow, you'll create even more distinction that way as well. So I think, yeah, I think that would be a great strategy for you, Bridge.
All right. Thank you very much, Fletch, and thank you, Joe.
All right, Bridge, good. I'm glad Fletch was able to get you to answer there. So, all right, well, just keep in touch with us and let us know how it goes.
Yeah, definitely, sure.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
All right, great. All right, fantastic. All right, let me just, I brought up this offer vault because when I was talking to Bridge, I was talking about, and so let me just show you what I was talking to him about the CPA. There is a course on this, a module on this, but what it is if you are just starting out doing lead gen, or you're at a country and you don't have a lot of options, you can go here and you can apply to some of these CPA groups, and you can do a pay-per-call. This is an offer vault, and you just go to the pay-per-call section, and these companies pay you for locksmith leads, student loan, personal injury, you know, and a lot of these leads are not huge money, but once you, let's go this way. Once you have your site set up, what it's doing is it's getting money in your bank account to start, and then if you go out and get a client, you could record the phone calls, and it makes selling the leads to a real company a lot easier. So that's just a little bit what I was telling Bridge. All right, so let's go on here. We got Celine. She says, I would like your advice on how to differentiate myself. You want to help me, Fletch?
I was going to help you out. Yeah, differentiate. How's that?
There you go. I mean, sometimes you just get those words stuck and you
get
can't get them out. Myself from the competition when I talk to potential clients. Lately, I've participated in several networking events, and when I explain what I do, I don't speak about SEO. I tell people that I'm in marketing, and that I help companies that want to grow to get new customers online. Sometimes when I say that, people ask me two things: if I'm doing SEO and if I'm a freelancer. I feel then they label me as a freelancer SEO, and with that label, I feel more like a commodity. I do not know how to position myself when talking to a potential customer. I don't have any clients so far, nor any ranking proof. All right, and she goes on here. So I don't know, Celine. It's going to be easier for me if you have a microphone than to just read off the questions. It sounds like to me you've gone to some meetings, you've talked to people, and they peg you as an SEO person and like a freelancer, maybe a cheap SEO person, and you want to you don't want them to think of you that way. So the questions that I'm going to go over in a little bit will help you with that. But if you have a microphone, just let me know, and bringing you on might be nice too, because I'm sure other people are going through that same thing. George O'Brien says, my wife just got business from someone she did a quick accounting favor for about 8 years ago. Well, that's great, George. That's fantastic. And then Jason. Okay, maybe what we'll do is we'll bring Jason on for another hot seat. We'll just keep it going here. Jason. Kaminsky. Jason Kaminsky. Hey, Jason, how's it going?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Good, Joe, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Good,
Alright,
good.
Sounds good.
Good.
No, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
No problem. So, what was
If you
your
got time, I was going to
situation?
tell you about my. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I could talk about my strategic meeting for like 2 seconds, but I have a question about a client that I got, and I've been doing work for him for like 6 months, and I basically can't get past the second page, and I've done a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm just wondering what the plan would be going forward. Like, I could talk about the niche, and maybe you guys could give me some ideas with that. Great.
Sure. What is all right, what's the niche? And what have you done? So this is a client.
Wood furnace niche. Okay.
Oh, what was that?
Well, I guess I could give you the quick backstory is I worked at a trucking company, and one of the drivers started up a wood furnace business, and he needed a web guy, so he took me on part-time, and he got me in with the national company. So now the national company hired me, and I've been doing all their web work and SEO for like the last 6 months. So everything's going good on that aspect. I know I'm making money every month, but they want me to rent for like outdoor wood furnace, outdoor wood boiler. I've built PBNs, and I've done some DAS and stuff, and I'm just stuck on the second page. I'm just wondering what the plan would be to get it to the middle first page or beyond that.
All right. I mean, there's a lot of factors, obviously. How I mean, and wood furnace, that's going to be a pretty big keyword, right? That's a national keyword. It's not a local keyword.
Yeah.
How long have you been working on it? So, and how long have you been working on this site?
Well, I just do links, so it's been about 6 months that I've been working on it. But I'm just wondering, like, it's just that competitive, and I just have to tell them it's just going to take a lot of time and more resources, basically, right?
Yeah, you were breaking up a little bit. So how long were you working on it for?
Oh, I was on it for about 6 months when I started. I really didn't know SEO all that well, so I just outsourced a bunch of links and got them built, and that's what got me up to about the third page. And then I built my own PBNs and some DAS stacks, and now I'm like at.
All right, looks like we lost Jason here. Let me see. Hey, can you guys hear me? I lost.
Yeah, you're still on, Joe. I was having the same issue with sound from Jason. It sounded like he was cutting in and out.
I think we lost him. All right. So, okay. So basically, it sounds like he's having problems getting to the second page. I couldn't get all the information from him for this wood furnace stove. So, I mean, all right. So he's been doing it for. He's been doing it for about 6 months. Let me see if I can get him back on here. We'll try one more time. just try this one more time. Hey, Jason, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. My internet I'm actually on my.
All right, I don't think his internet's working here. Okay, so basically, Jason, it's going to depend on a few things, I'd say. I mean, your content, there's a lot of factors. Your content, your URL structure, you outsource some links. So do you know if all those links were good links? You know, are some of those links toxic? So it's hard to just say, what exactly is wrong. I mean, do you have anything else that you're trying to rank? Are you trying to rank a video also? Sometimes a video will move a lot faster than a website for sure. So I mean, so that's a factor too. I know Fletch, you just came from that week with Network Empire. We don't have a ton of information to go on here, but if you have anything you want to add into that.
Yeah, with something like that, I mean, it almost sounds like there may be a filter involved, which, you might be bumping up with some over optimization issues if you're just really having trouble getting onto that first page. Sometimes Google won't like totally de-index you or drop you out of the rankings, but it won't put you on the first page if you're kind of right near that threshold. So that might be something. And then exactly what you said, Joe, when I have situations like that where I know I'm not doing anything that's too aggressive, I'll try to rank other properties that are associated with that site. So if you've got a YouTube channel or a Facebook business page, or even just a single YouTube video that's going to be embedded on that site, or that the description link points back to, I'll usually try to push some juice toward one of those secondary properties that's going to flow through to the business. Just like like what you guys did with the Iowa City SEO project. A lot of those PBN links were actually, I don't know if any of them were pointed directly to the money site. They were all pointed to those secondary sites, and those were what lifted up the main site. So I might kind of alter my strategy like that a little bit and see if you can't get that push you need.
Yeah, and also Greg did an excellent, I mean, his mastery, the March Madness Mastery series he did is great on showing you how to check that all your on page is correct, and your title tags and everything that you have is correct. And that is one thing that could be keeping you on page 2 also, is some of those. So the way you have your site set up and the keywords you have on there. Also, what Fletch says, I do the same thing. Whenever I go to rank in an area, I have my site, I make a video, I'll do a press release, I'll do Facebook page, and usually my video pops first. If it's local, the Yelp will come on, and then my site kind of follows up afterwards. The site kind of takes more than some of those other things, but as you're ranking those other properties, you're building authority in your site. And it could be the term too. I mean, wood stoves is a competitive, I mean, that's not a small term. I would just let them know it's going to take a little bit. Okay, good, Jason. Yeah, Jason, sorry we couldn't, we kind of lost your microphone there for a little bit. Okay. All right, fantastic. Good. All right. So, all right, so let's see. Let me hit a couple more of these questions here as we go down. Okay, so Greg asked, last night Becker was talking about setting up lead gen sites during the first phase. You rank and then start to get phone calls and then sell the leads. That is an amazing strategy he talked about there. My question is, what do you do with the leads until they start selling them? So, yeah, I mean, that's lead gen right there. I don't know. I wasn't on the webinar. last night. But I mean, that's basically lead generation. You set the site up and you start getting calls. What I've done before is I forward them. Sometimes I forward the calls. What I did was I would forward the calls to a company that I wanted, like a prospective company, and I would send it to them kind of for free, with a whisper on it. That could be a little complicated because if you don't let them know, they don't know what the calls are, where these calls are coming from. And I've also done it where I have an answering service, where the phone call goes to an answering service, the person takes down the lead information, and then we go out and we go and try to sell that lead, or that's how we get our clients to come on. You say, hey, we have this person who needs plumbing repair in San Diego, and so I have someone answering my leads. They just don't get wasted, and then I kind of use that to sell them. So I don't know, Fletch, if you do anything else with your leads.
No, that's pretty much exactly how I run it. And yeah, I was on last night and heard what Becker was talking about with leads. It's exactly what our training is. That's the whole 60-day day job killer series and paper lead training that we have. So if there's any moving pieces of that model that you are still trying to put together, our training on that covers it exactly the same way that Becker talked about. So I don't know that Becker was aware that we had that training in there, but it's pretty much the standard way that both Joe and I go about creating business through that model. So a lot of times, just like Joe said, until you have a way to monetize it, I'll send them free, and that's the way to open the door. You've already delivered value. You've already proven that you can do what you say you're going to do. Now all you got to do is agree on price. And so it's a really easy way to scale up something very similar to local client consulting, but you don't have nearly as much of the headache that goes along with the client who's waiting for his site to rank, because he's only paying you when his phone rings, and those are all going to be customers. So yeah, it's a great model to incorporate. If you're already doing client consulting or like affiliate marketing, it's kind of I actually think it's more like affiliate marketing than it is like local client consulting, just because you don't have quite the same hassles, but you do have some of the benefits as far as just when you get paid, the amount that you get paid, and all that kind of thing. And if you bridge together with what Joe showed earlier with like Offer Vault or some of these other CPA sites, you actually don't even need a client, because there is an offer sitting there waiting for you. So you could build a site, you could get it ranked, you could throw one of these CPA offers on it, get it to convert, and then if you want to upgrade that and sell it locally, you can make more money with that situation, but you don't have to. So there's a couple different ways that you can, monetize or, turn that workflow into, income for yourself. And, Joe's talked about a lot of them. I've talked about a lot of them. Becker, mentioned that one that he was, kind of focusing on last night as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and the other thing too is, I mean, we talk about this all the time, Fletch and myself, with the lead gen, is you own the assets too. You can sell them. They're yours. So it's longer setup. It's gonna take you longer to make money, but in the end, I think your business has more value because you own those assets. Okay, so Skip Adu asks, I'm new to OMG and don't have a website as yet. I'm very strong in sales, financial management, and marketing. My question is, do you really need to have a website to have credibility when speaking to prospects? Okay, for me, I mean, it helps for sure. Would I spend months putting my website together before I start talking to clients? No. I actually got my first client and I didn't even have a website set up yet. So I did not have my own SEO or marketing website set up. That being said, of course, if you're telling somebody that you're going to do their web design, and you probably should have a website of your own that they could look at. It doesn't have to be super complicated. It doesn't have to be super fancy. There's a skin in the director's cut skin that you could simply put up a website. with a few pages, and there you have something tangible. You have a website. But I think I went about 6 months before I got, before I put one together. What about you, Fletch? You've had a website since you started? I know you got
No.
your Explosion site now.
Yeah, Search Explosion just got built out a couple months ago. I actually made, I don't know, $70,000-$80,000 before I had any website, that somebody could contact me through. It's not necessary. Just like what you said, Joe, if you're doing web design or something that people really need to see what you can do, I think that might, it might be more difficult. But, it's one of those things, like just kind of what I talked about earlier about getting resourceful. If you, are in a situation where you don't have time, you're kind of behind the 8-ball, you can figure out ways to make that work. The earlier question from, Celine, she was talking about, positioning and kind of like, well, how do I, if I'm a freelancer, how do I make sure that doesn't turn me into a commodity? This gets back into, what I was talking about. The mindset and the approach you have are going to be everything. And, you can either look at yourself as a commodity as a freelancer, or you can say, you know what, I'm a gun for hire, and I don't need all that overhead and all that bull to be able to do what I do. And if you can get that attitude and make that work, if you are strong in sales, it actually frees you up even more. It lets you be, holy cow, who is this individual that doesn't even need a website to be able to do SEO? Especially if you show some of the examples that we talk about being able to show, the OMG examples you can use as, proof that you know what you're doing. You can show Iowa City SEO, you can show any of the other various, sites that we've put out there as far as demonstrations go, to show that the SEO process you follow is successful. So, just kind of put some of that stuff together and make it work for yourself. But, at the end of the day, there aren't, you have to do this to be successful. Outside of really what Greg talks about SEO-wise, you've got a lot of flexibility. So, make use of your strengths, make use of who you are, and then, create, if you really want instructions to follow, we have a ton of models. But if those instructions for some reason don't quite fit you, then see what works. If you've got to change a few things, you can change a few things. But I know that you don't have to have a website ranking to make money. I did it. So, and I know a lot of people have as well. Joe, we giggle. Actually, we do giggle. It's not two big guys that both giggle at each other sometimes. You don't have to be as agency looking as people think to be a professional and to be incredibly good at what you do. So, this series is really looking at referrals and the ability to do that. To do referrals effectively, you need to be able to communicate effectively. And if you've got that background, you can just make that work for you.
Yeah, I mean, exactly like what Fletch said. My website, I built it in 2011 or 12, and I haven't touched it since. I haven't even updated it. And so, I don't ever use it really in my sales. I mean, it's there if I need it. Two, the other thing is even if you have someone that needs web design, I mean, what I've done before is I don't do web, I could do websites, like fix my website and add stuff to it, but I'm not a web designer. So I hire web designers. So if someone needs a web designer, my web designer charges me $600-800. I charge the client $3,000. And if they need samples, I show them samples of my web designers samples. Here's some samples of what we can do, what we've done. And it's true because it's what he's done. So it also depends. You can partner with people that have things that you need. So it's like what Fletch says, you don't want to get stuck in the mode where, okay, I have to build my site, I have to rank my site, then I can get the client. If you got the means to get the client, then go and do it. And then when you start making money, pay somebody $1,000 to put a website together for you. All right. What's a good call tracking software? I've been using Analytic Call Tracker. I don't know. I think Fletch, what are you using now? Are you, are you using that?
Yeah, we're in the process of moving over there. I'm using ACT. The enterprise level is what we're
Yeah, that's
still
what I thought.
integrating, but I've still got call fire numbers. Um, we've got a couple on CallZoo, but I don't know. It's being weird. I don't think they're open to new sales right now.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, if you're
cutting
getting
off
started,
them.
go with ACT. It's pretty simple to set up. It's easy to use. Um,
That
Joe and I
red,
both use it, and yeah, it's scalable. Yeah.
the Enterprise Edition's nice too, because it does everything that all the others, everything you need to track, record, invoice for lead gen, it does. So, all right. So, actually, Fletch, you were talking about Celine, and she says she has a microphone, so let's bring her on.
Cool.
Hey, Celine, are you there? I unmuted your microphone. Hey, how you doing?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
Good, good. So, tell us, what is the situation?
Well, I've been through to some referral meetings lately, and I started to meet people, and I introduced myself to them. I follow the advices of Brian. I asked them about themselves, what they do, why, how long they've been doing that, what they like, and at some point, people ask me questions about me. They ask me what I'm doing. So I say that I'm doing marketing. I don't talk about SEO. I say that I help businesses to get more customers online. And at this point, sometimes people just tell me, "Oh, so you're doing SEO, and you on your own, or you on an agency?" And I say, "Well, I'm on my own," and I feel really labeled at that moment, and it's like they just see me like another random SEO person, and I don't know how to position myself. Um, um, so people, I don't know. I don't know how to position myself to bring value to someone so they see me as valuable and someone that will really be able to help them.
Yeah, well, I mean, all right. So people are labeling you as just plain an SEO person, and that's all you do. Well, and you know, doing SEO is not an easy thing, right? The problem is that people get called all the time, and so they get a little bit blind to it. They just think SEO, okay, somebody who says they can rank a website. I mean, when you tell them, when I focus on when I'm talking to somebody, I do where I talk to them about how I help people to get lead customers and leads, and if they say, well, it's SEO, I say SEO is part of it. But we also, you can have a website ranking number one, and if it's not making your phone ring, if it's not capturing leads, if it's not giving you the ability to re-engage the traffic that's gone to that site, is it effective? I said, what we do is we look at a holistic approach to the whole thing, to the whole marketing, and getting you phone calls from online. But so I try, like, but that's because that's my background. And what I was gonna do is, maybe I'll bring this up and I'll show you, is I like to set up meetings with people, and and I don't go too heavy into it. I may say, yeah, SEO is a small part of what we do, but there's a lot more to it, than just that. And what I'll do is, for me to know what to even pitch a prospect, or to position myself as, as who I want people to see me as, is I have to set the stage a little bit. So if I could set up a meeting with them so I can explain to them what we do, and two, if they ask me, do I work for an agency or am I by myself? I usually say that I am an agency or I have my team. I don't want them to think it's just me. I want them to know that, yeah, I do have a team of people that I work with, because I do, even if they're not my direct employees. But the other thing too is when I set up this meeting is I want to find out about their business, because if you do rank them and get them on top of Google, you have to know something about their business. You have to know what the goals they want, what they want to accomplish, what's going to make them the most money. How can they get referrals? How can they get reviews? You need to know all those things, and you do that by asking them questions in the first meeting. And I put together these questions that I have, and I gave something like this out before. These are more, there's about 50 questions here, and you're not going to really use these questions for every single person. Okay, it's going to depend on the type of business it is, the type of company you're talking to. But what I like to do is ask them right off the bat, have you created a written description of your ideal customer? And then they're going to probably say no, right? They're not going to know if it, or they might say, yes, I know exactly who my ideal customer is. So then if they do, I'll ask them, well, what is your ideal customer? Then I'll ask them, have you written a description of your business's unique selling proposition? Meaning, what your business offers to your customers that makes it different or better than its competitors. I'll say, listen, there's 10 people that are going to be on page 1 of Google. Okay, so what differentiates you? What makes you different than the other 9 people on there? Why is your business different? Why should the customer call you opposed to everybody else? Because number one is yes, it's awesome to be number one. You're going to get a majority of clicks, but depending on what the item is that people are buying, they're going to look at other competition too. Your competition. How are you standing out? What ways are you standing out? Another question is, do you know how much any given customer will spend with you on average for their first purchase with you? Do you know the lifetime value of a customer? Do you offer any upsells or options? So as you go down the list, these are all questions that probably your client might have thought of before, potential client, or they might not have thought of. But what you're doing is you're kind of interviewing them, looking at their business, and finding ways that you can bring clients into their business.
Okay.
So, I don't know, does that help you a little bit?
Yeah, it helps a lot because, the thing is that usually when they ask me if I'm doing SEO, I say, yes, I do SEO, and I don't have anything else, and I don't talk about how I can help them to get their customers, and maybe they just see me as someone that rank websites on Google and not as someone that can bring them more customers, more leads. And so sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say too, just is N doing just SEO is okay also. I mean, look, all Cotton does is SEO. He says, I move you from page 5 to page 1, and that's what he does. So it just depends on what you want to do, and what's easier for you, getting started.
Well, maybe that is not so clear for me. For sure, I want to work with clients. Actually, I really enjoy to help people, and if I see that I have some knowledge or something that can help them, I really enjoy doing it. So I think I would be pleased to do client consulting. But I'm not completely sure on how to position myself and how to frame myself. That's the thing.
All right. So let me get Fletch too. Hey, Fletch.
Yeah, buddy.
Let me get.
Just listening. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
What's up?
Oh no.
I was just gonna say, just listening to you. Oh, we keep talking on each other. One of the things that, when you originally described the situation after people ask if you work for an SEO agency or if you're on your own, you can start to do, I really try to use education as a way to position myself, and most people would assume that working for an SEO agency would find it would probably mean you have more resources or more skill. If you are in a position to be able to laugh and say, no, there's no way an SEO agency could afford to pay me what I'm worth. It changes the dialogue of the conversation, and then they're like, well, maybe I don't know so much about this as I thought I did. Could you explain yourself? And if you can talk about how an SEO agency works, they're essentially just a sales house. All they do is sell new clients and let some outsourcer from, a low-pay country try to perform SEO, and that's just not the way it works with Google. They don't have the results to back up and prove that they can do what they sell. And your entire company, everything you learn, everything you do, is based on the success of your customers. It really changes the dialogue. It lets you be a resource. It lets you be somebody who has some insider knowledge, and that's really a great way to have some positioning as well. And if nothing else, you can laugh about it, just, okay, here we go. This is a different conversation than I thought it was going to be. So, if you can get yourself to go that direction, I think it'd be a great way to go.
Okay, I'm going to try that.
All right, let her rip. See what you get.
Yes.
All right, Celine. Do you have any other questions or?
No, I'm fine. Actually, well, I would just like to have your questionnaire, if it's possible. I'm meeting someone on Monday, and I will try to approach him the way you suggest tonight, talking more about his business and what he does, how he does it. So
yeah, and yeah. Okay, I put that in the question box. If you guys look at it, I put a Dropbox link in there. Okay. And two is what you do is, just look over those questions. They're all not going to apply. Make sure, maybe some of those questions you might not even know the answer to or how to fulfill. So what I would do is I wouldn't ask questions you're not comfortable with.
Yeah.
So but it's a baseline. Hey, let me see. Can you guys see the Dropbox link? Oh, hold on a second. Let me try sending this again. Okay, there you guys go. All right, so people see it. Yeah. So what I would do is make sure this is kind of like a baseline. It's kind of like something that helps you get the conversation going and helps you find out more about the client. So, okay. All right, great, Celine. Okay, thanks perfect. A lot.
Thank you very much.
All right, there we go. We're getting a little bit of a pause there. Okay, so this questionnaire that I put in the box is what it is if you go through it, it takes a look at it and it's questions like, do you know where your biggest source of untapped new business is? Do at least 25% of your business, does it come from referrals? What's the average number of referrals? There's questions like, how do you capture leads when they come to your site? How do you remarket those leads? So, how do you get testimonials from people? How do you get reviews? And, every client, what do they want? They want reviews. They want reviews on their Yelp. They want reviews on their Google Local, but they just don't know how to get it. So what you're doing too by some of these questions is you're making them feel the pain, right? It's pain. Hey, how are you getting referrals? Oh, I don't have a referral program. How are you getting reviews. What are you doing to get reviews? Oh, I don't have a way to get reviews. Or, we call up the client and ask them to give us a review, but they don't ever seem to do it, right? Well, so in this way, when you're doing these questions, you're positioning yourself as an expert, almost the same way that I try to set my clients up as an expert in their niche. I set myself up as an expert in my niche, or what I do is I ask the questions that they don't always ask, but they should ask, right? They're called should ask questions. Is that everyone, well, I want to rank number one. How much is it going to cost me to get number one? What, or what's it going to take for you to do SEO on my site? But what they're not asking is, how can I get more leads, or how can I squeeze my list or my leads or people that know me already, so that can help in turn grow my business through referrals, through reviews, through different things of that nature. So let me see here. So let me ask you, does anyone have any questions at all on these set of questions that I put in a box here? No? All right. Good. No questions at all. That's fantastic. Yeah. So all right. So thank you. You're helpful. Good. Jordan asks, how do you determine which keywords to start working on for a client first? A lot of times when you're go through this interview process, when you sit down with them, talk to them about your business, I try to find out what it is, what's their most profitable thing that they do. If they're a plumber, well, what is it that's the most profitable for you? Is it copper repiping? Is it water heater repair? What is your specialty? And then, I'll go from there. Maybe it's just plumbing, and then I do some keyword research. But once you find out, what that business, what their where they make their money, you could determine, what keywords you want to rank them for, and then you could determine how to properly set up their campaign. And then as far as doing a proposal, let me see here, I just use the site Quote Roller. I think Fletch uses it also. Let's see here. Have I spelled that right? Let me see. All right, so Eric asked, my client has some time-sensitive terms or things to rank. Any advice on the best way to do this? It seems PBNs would take too long. Eric, I would just, it's going to take you to rank what it's going to take you to rank. So I guess it depends on what the time sensitivity is. Usually I leave at least enough time, when doing a proposal, to let them know that, hey, it's going to take a few months. But I do think that PBNs is probably the fastest and best way for you to go. This is Quote Roller. Now, what Quote Roller does is you can do a tour. You could even do, I think they give you a free, you can get started for free. You can do your first proposal for free. And my proposals are very simple. They're usually one-page proposals. I'll do a video, and Cotton has really good training on how he does his proposal videos. But this, you can go in, they have different templates for web design, for SEO. They have charts you could put in, like comparison charts For example, when I would do some proposals, I'll give them an A and a B plan. A plan is less, B plan is more. Usually, if I lay it out, they see everything that they're missing out on in the higher plan, and they usually go for the higher plan. But so you can do a table like that in here. You can also create a video, and you can put the video inside the proposal, and it makes a PDF out of it. I don't get hung up a lot on the jargon, on having these big long proposals that talk about all this unnecessary stuff. People want to know, what are you going to do for me, and how much is it going to cost? And when I do that interview with them, I kind of know what they need. They need a website redesign. They need a lead capture created. They need conversion copy put on their site. Maybe they need a video made. Maybe they need a press release or their social media set up. So all those things are going to be put inside the proposal. They're going to be things that the customer's expecting because we had a conversation. I asked them questions. They know they needed it. They didn't have it. So I'm going to provide it in this proposal. So maybe, so Fletch, you use this quote roller quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm trying to find your screen. I had something else over on top of it there. Where are we? Got my multiple monitors. Yeah. So it's really nice way to get a professional document in front of your customers and keep track of when they opened it. You can get the digital signing. They can pay. The payments integrated within the platform, all that kind of thing. So yeah, I really like the solution there.
All right. Yeah. I'm trying to pull mine up now. I got my screen paused. I'm trying to log in. I don't know. It's not letting me, but let's see if I can log in.
Yeah, on the back in the background.
Yeah, so it looks like a little bit. David, let's see. David asks, "Hey Joe, on that Dropbox PDF question list, you want to ask them all 56 of the questions, would you?" Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. I would not ask them all of those questions. What I did is I just put those questions together because those are some of the things I ask, and I didn't put it in any kind of PDF in the format like, hey, ask this one, that one, that one. They're just things that help to spark kind of the clients to see what they need, and it can spark something in you to think of what you can provide. So you could ask as many of those questions as you want. I encourage you to come up with your own questions. Anymore, I don't even bring the questions with me because I've been doing this so long. I know what to ask the question. I know what to ask people, and I know how the meeting's going, kind of what they need and what they don't, and what path to go down. So this is kind of like, think of it as a guide, not like a map that says, okay, this is A, B, C, D, E. Go ask all these questions, because if you take that and you ask all of them, and you don't know how, maybe some of those questions might talk about something that you don't know how to fulfill or you don't want to fulfill, then don't ask that question, or maybe it doesn't apply and you confuse your client. You don't ever want to confuse a client. What you want to do is you want to lead him down a path so that he knows what he doesn't know. Okay, you do SEO, rank my site. I've done a little SEO in the past. I mean, heck, I've talked to people that were like, hey, back in, 2008, I had 5 spots on page 1. It ain't, and so it's like a lot of times people don't know what they don't know. So when you start leading them down that path, hey, have you done this? Are you doing this? Are you currently doing that? Are you doing this? Then it lets them know that, oh, yeah, okay, I don't know. So hopefully that helps out. Got it. All right. Where's the video that shows how to do a video proposal? I think that's in Cotton's new series, isn't it, Fletch? I thought I saw it in there in his marketing agency series.
I think it's in that Agency 101 series. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's in there. Basically, a video proposal, what I'll do is after I do that initial question, the meeting where I ask them the questions, I have my notes, and then I kind of go through a video showing exactly what I'm going to do, but it's a pretty quick video. It's not super lengthy. I'm not saying, okay, I'm going to create PBNs and I'm going to link from this PBN. I'm going to create a dash stack, and if we look at this and and use all these calculations. I don't do any of that. I basically listen. Here, what we can do is we can get you here on page 1. If we get you here, this is how much traffic for this keyword. Look, and I might show them some other examples of other clients where I have 2-3 spots on page 1. I may show them some national examples, and I try to get them to feel like, what if your site was here? What would that do for your business? Well, that's what we're going to do, and I kind of go through it that way. I know, Flex, do you do video proposals at all?
Yeah, I put myself on video any opportunity I get. It's one of the things that really will set you apart from any of your competition. As we talked about even earlier with Bridge, the more personal and transparent and congruent you can make each of your touch points, each time you have an opportunity to communicate with a client or potential client or whatever, better off you're going to be. So I actually do, myself in front of a video camera for part of my proposal process as well, just to let people know who I am, that I'm just a guy who knows how to do SEO and wants to serve and help my customers and clients. And then we can get into more technical stuff about kind of where they are and what the size of the market is and what we're going to be able to do for them. So I really, really, really like video. And I think that's going to be one of those things that as we move forward and the internet becomes even more and more focused on how engaged are your customers, the more familiar you guys are with video and your ability to create videos that teach or connect or explain things, the better off you're going to be. So that's, also prefacing what we're going to get into with, turning pro. Your relationship to practice needs to change. And it's not always about just getting in the game and hitting a home run. If you've not prepared to hit a home run, you're going to strike out and the bat's going to fly out of your hand and, hit a player, and you're going to get taken to jail instead of being the hero. And the difference is putting in the time to become really good at stuff. So with video, anytime I have an opportunity to create a video, I do it because it's going to make me better for the videos that actually are game time videos. So yeah, I would highly suggest videos and video proposals.
Yeah, and two, I mean, it's a way that you can speak to your client, potential client, where there's no pressure. Okay, because like if you're sitting there and say you give them a proposal and now you're trying to explain it, there's pressure there. He might feel pressure. You're trying to explain it right. Maybe you're nervous, but if you could lay things out in a video proposal, like give them the proposal they can look at, then you go through it, step by step. This is what we're going to do. This is why we're going to do it. This is what you need. I found that, my proposals are usually around 20 minutes, 22 minutes. And I know on some of them, my clients watch them several times because they had to digest everything, that I was offering them and seeing how it fits into their business. And the value that it had. And then the last meeting was easy. The last meeting was, okay, well, let's do it. It was either going to do it or they weren't. And, I've closed a lot of deals that way. So now this is, I'm in here in Quote Roller, and let me see, I think I don't even know what's in here. This isn't my main account, so I'm going to try to poke around in here. Yeah, you have a lot of different templates here. You have templates. This isn't just for marketers. It's for any kind of business, but they do have an SEO template. They have a web design template. and so what I've done is sometimes I'll take things from the web design template and the SEO template, and I kind of combine them together. So you can play around with this. They have videos on how to use it. You can also, um, I think you could even talk with people. Here, a quote roller. Excuse me. And to get you set up. So this is a way if you're kind of stuck, if you don't know how to put a proposal together, or if that's what's holding you back, this is a real easy way for you to get something out. All right. So Roloff says, how long did you say your video proposal was? Mine usually are about 20 minutes. I try to keep them short, but they usually end up about 20 minutes. That doesn't mean yours have to be 20 minutes. They're just what mine are. Eric asks if you prefer to say, would you trust buying PBNs for someone else? I mean, Eric, it just depends on what the PBNs are and how much they're charging for them. Greg goes into a lot of detail on how to determine what a good PBN is. So if you find that the PBN is good, then go for it. Do I have an example of a video proposal you can watch? Oh, man, I don't know, because if I give out my video proposals, then it's my client, and then I basically am giving people everything that I've told this one client. And not that anyone on here would do this, but I've had it done before where people have called my client. So I might have an old one. I'll have to dig around and try to find someone who's not a client anymore, perhaps a fake one. I might be able to make a fake one. But two is I would go and I would look at Cotton's. The one he lays out a really nice template for making a video proposal also. I'll see. I might have an old one if I could find it. And it's not anything extraordinary. It's not like if I gave you my video proposal that I did back in 2011 for one of my first clients, that you would say, this guy is an extraordinary genius the way he put this video proposal together. It was basically just I had my proposal and I straightforward explained what the client needed, what I can do, what it would look like if he did what I told him to do, and those were the things that I did. All right, let's see. Peter asked, do you guarantee page one for your clients, and what kind of expectations do you leave them when you're selling them? I don't offer any guarantees. I did in the beginning, but I don't anymore. I know some people may, but I don't offer any guarantees. Let's see. All right, let me see if there's anyone else who wants to do a hot seat. I know I had a few people that messaged me they want to do some hot seats, and I just want to make sure I wasn't missing anybody. So just if you want to do a hot seat, just let me know. Me for hot seat. Callie. Wait, didn't we bring Callie on, or is this a different Callie? Oh, Mamadou's on again. Okay, let's bring Mamadou on. He's been on a couple of hot seats already. So, and then we got Andre wants to come on. So Mamadou's been on a couple of hot seats. He was going to go out. He was nervous to do some affiliate. To do some referral meetings, but he got up and he went out and he did some referral meetings, and we had him on last week. So let's bring him on again and see how he's progressing. Let's see. Okay, Mamadou, I'm gonna unmute you. Hey, Mamadou, how's it going?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Great. How you guys doing?
Good, fantastic. How are you doing? Good to have you on.
Doing great, doing great. How you doing, Flash?
Hey, bud, I'm doing good. Thanks for jumping on.
No problem. Thank you guys for having me. So,
Yeah.
uh, I had a couple of questions and I also had a couple of updates for you, Joe.
Okay,
Um,
fantastic.
I Here in Canada we have, especially here in Montreal, there is something that we call Kijiji. It's like a Craigslist there in the United States. It's kind of more popular here. I was hesitant really to put my site there because typically people that goes there, they're looking for cheap stuff, right? They don't want to pay the big bucks. That's why they go there try to find cheaper alternative. But they do offer to put your links there for like $5 for like 60 days, whatever. So I did it for citation purposes, and I had one guy contacted me by email. Uh, I also had, which was shocking yesterday, a lawyer that called me, and he called me to invite me to his BNI meeting on Tuesday next week. So he told me, say, hey, I'm a lawyer, and I see that you're a SEO, and we want somebody like you in our group. I would like to invite you to come to our meeting. I was like, okay. So he sent me a link. I registered for his BNI meeting on next Tuesday morning, so I probably will have to miss work for that, but it's okay. Um, so yeah, so I wanted to ask you a question because this is what's going on. I just pop up on the first page for Montreal SEO like last week. This is something that I've been trying to do since like 4 months. So now, so I'm on like number 8. So I have a couple of questions because I have a question for you, Fletch, and I also have a question for you, George. Especially, he called me as a SEO, and you guys talk about like now do not mention that you are SEOs. Um, should I go there? I I I think I got it now regarding like what can I say to people, especially what I do. And you're right. The video proposal for Karen is the best. So the people that are asking questions, they need to go see it. I use that to try to do video proposal myself. But yeah, so if I go there on Tuesday, I think you will have 1 minute to present yourself and your business in front of everybody. Should I just go straight up as a SEO since now I have the rankings? I'm really ranking for one of the keyword that all the SEOs wants to rank for here in Montreal, or should I just do the marketing guy type of person presentation?
Well, I mean, it depends on what you want to do. If are you going to offer just SEO, or are you going to offer more of a marketing?
Well, when I watch Cardin's videos, the way he did his proposal, it really kind of uh, did open uh, some doors for me, like regarding what do we do stuff. The way he look at a business, look at how the people, the actual website are doing, what type of keyword they are ranking for, and the type of traffic that you can potentially get by ranking for those keywords, right? So just letting people know that what we do is not just rank a website. What we do is literally look how you can get traffic to your website. What are the keywords? So it take for us to do a market analysis to look at what others are doing that are already successful in your field and tell you, okay, this is what we can do for your business. So yes, there is SEO part of it, but also the market analysis part is also there. So I guess my thing was always to go into marketing, really doing anything that can help a business grow. But right now I'm really focusing on the SEO. That's why I came here for OMG, and I promised myself that I'm just going to focus on that. So, and since I don't have no client yet, but I'm ranking, so I want to stick to that. But I just wanted to also add the fact that we don't just rank you for anything. We make sure that we look at uh, what can bring you target customers who is already doing great, offering your own services, and how they're getting their customers and basically doing the same thing and even better than them. So I don't know. That's the kind of thing that was going through my mind, really.
Well, here's the thing: is you have 1 minute. Okay, so in those
Yes.
meetings, you have 1 minute to explain what you do. So what you want to do is you want to be as memorable as you possibly can. So what most people do in that 1 minute is they get up there and they say, "Hey, my name is Bob, and this is what we do." You know, blah blah blah. I mean, if you can make it so it's intriguing and that people could remember you, that's the best way to do it. And like I've said this before, and it's what I did in those BI9 meetings. I kept it short and brief, and I think I said this on almost every call. But what I've done, what I would do is I would get up there, and I would do things. Like one time, I got up there with a balloon, and I popped it, and I said, "That's what we make. That's what we do for your website. We make it pop onto page one." Or I've done things where I've gone up there and used the highway analysis, where it says, imagine there's a highway, a freeway here in San Diego. It's the busiest freeway in San Diego, and everyone driving on it is looking for what you do. Okay, so what we do is we put you in the biggest building with the biggest billboard on that highway. That's what I do online, or something like that, where it's something that it's a word picture, it's something that they're gonna remember you, and they're gonna ask questions, and they understand exactly what you're doing. I mean, that's what I do in that 1 minute. What about you, Fletch?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, what you just said is really good. As much as anything, you've got a short period of time to not only explain what you do, but even before you can explain what you do, you've got to get somebody's attention. And, like the balloon thing or telling a story, that's usually what I try to lead with, is going to be something that's kind of memorable. It's going to break kind of the, hypnosis that most people operate in all day long. And if you can get up there and break that hypnosis, deliver something that is very memorable and easy to relate to, I think that's going to be what you want to try to do. So, if you want to go with being a marketing consultant, or if you want to go with SEO, I would start to kind of put that dialogue together in a way that you don't get up there and say, so what I do is this. Start out with like popping a balloon, or say last week there were 12,000 customers looking for your business and they couldn't find you. It's something that's like, wait, what is this? He's not talking about what he does. He's talking about something I'm interested in. So if you can go along those lines, I think you'll be in good shape.
All right, thanks, Fletch. And so, how's that, Marmaduke? You have any more questions?
All right, that's great. That's great. Yes, I do. I got a couple, if you don't mind. The first one, about the video proposal, the customer that contacted me via emails, he wanted me because he's just a startup, and I know Connor said he hates startups. I'm starting hating them too, but he wants to do, his business is going to be an online business, and he wanted me to do a proposal for him, but he absolutely wanted me to include the price in the proposal because he's shopping around. So, and Karen's been always say that we should always talk about price with the customer over the phone. So I was going to start doing the video proposal for him today, and I just wanted to know, like, how would you go about it? Like, should I, since he's insisting for it, should I do it, or I still have to go by just do the proposal, say the opportunities that he's missing and what I can do for him and everything, and then just send it to him like that? Or
I mean, you have to you have to kind of gauge your potential client, right? The same way if you ask somebody, a car salesman, you went in to buy a car, and you said, listen, I don't want I don't want to mess around here. I just want to know how much this car is. And then so he started telling you about all the different awesome accessories. You know, for me, if I want to know the price, I want to know the price, and if you don't tell me, I get upset. It doesn't mean everyone's like that. I'm just using that analogy. That being said, what I do is when I do my first meeting with them, this whole where I ask them questions, I also find out what their budget is, and I find out how much, you know, do they have a budget, and then at the end of the meeting, I'll say, well, you know, let me ask you, I'll put something together, you know, is something like, you know, $8,000 setup and $2,500 a month something that's doable for you? Is it even in your range? You know, and then it lets me know, one, if it's in their range. I use the word doable because it's like, yeah, it's doable, not like, you know, can you do it, right? Oh no, I can't do it. But if you say something like, is it doable, it just gives them a little different mindset, and from there I can gauge where they're at, and that's where I put my proposal together. So I don't know. I've usually is when I'll do my video proposal and I send it in, the price is there. I usually give them a price. What about you, Fletch? Do you wait to give them a price?
I already had it on. Yeah, with something like that, you know, what you said is probably kind of what I'd lean toward. I don't let clients tell me what I can do. So I would probably lean more toward, no, we don't give proposals with prices. We give proposals that tell our customers what we can do for them, because prices, as most people know, are negotiable. So we'll give you a proposal. If we are the people you choose to go with, give us a call and we'll make the prices work. That's probably how I would go about doing it. But, you know, and that's just me. There's 100 different ways to do it. So I usually lean toward the side where, you know, very similar to cotton with prices on things.
All right. Yeah. All right. So Fletch, when you do a proposal for somebody, you don't give a price until you meet with them?
Yeah, until they call me back and say, yeah, I'm interested. Because then you've already got them saying, yeah, this is the one I want to find out more about. Yeah. It just lets you be in a better position to get this sale, you know, move forward or close the deal. If you put the price out there, it's just one more factor that's gonna actually muddle their thinking. So if you're the only proposal, if they get 5 proposals and everybody's got a number on it, but you've got a proposal that's just way better than everybody else, you're still going to get that phone call, even if they want the number up front. You know, if they throw it out without even looking at it, you know, that's probably not the type of customer you want to have anyway. That's just the way I would assume things would go.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So, I mean, it's a couple of different ways to do it. You know, on my proposals, I do put a price, but the price is already, the client I already know what the price the client is good we can do. I kind of pre-frame it. So it's just different ways that you feel comfortable doing it. So Mamadou, does that do you have any more questions?
I haven't asked questions. I don't know if it's the right place to ask it or.
You know, I'm not really a DAS expert. That's probably a good question for Network Empire or even Greg. So maybe unless Fletch, I know you went to that Network Empire.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I had. How complicated is it, Marmaduke?
It's not that complicated.
Well, fire away. I'll try to answer it. If I can't, then we'll refer you to Network Empire or somebody else.
Perfect. So when I built my website, I was targeting a long tail keyword at the beginning. So because Montreal SEO was so difficult anyway for me because I just started SEO with OMG. So I created a page that I call, for example, Best SEO Company in Montreal, right? And I did two silo with it, which is Best SEO Company in Montreal slash for small businesses and Best SEO Company in Montreal slash forward for dentists. And I did basically the same diagram from like Jimmy told us with the silo and everything. And I was able to rank for the term Best SEO Company in Montreal on the first page quickly.
Okay.
But what happened was instead of that page that I named Best SEO Company in Montreal to be ranked, my homepage ranked. So I didn't have no link between the two pages, but I guess from Google, my homepage was more, I mean, had more things to do with the Best SEO Company in Montreal than that page, so it ranked my homepage. So now that I'm on the, and then now that I'm on the first page for Montreal SEO, the first website here is like, they have like a DA49 with a bunch of like 1,000 links going to that page. And I didn't really want to fight them with the PBNs since I'm on the like number 8 now. I wanted to really attack with the DAS. So I was wondering, can I do another 3 DAX stack to the same silo that I did earlier, so Best SEO Company in Montreal, but targeted all the DAX stack with like the Montreal SEO keyword, and maybe that juice would kind of bump me up, or should I create another silo under my homepage and then do basically a dash tag to that silo instead of doing a dash tag to the already silo one that I had on it.
Yeah, so you can do either one, unless there's a need or you see a reason to create a new silo or a new kind of theme on your site. Just stick with what you've got already. There won't be any trouble with running additional stacks to that existing silo. I would change your diagram up a little bit though if you do that, just to get different properties involved, different domains. You're not going to get nearly as much juice on the second and third links from the same domain as you do with that initial one. So even if you're incorporating subdomains from like Weebly or WordPress or something like that, you're just not going to get the same punch. So what I would do is definitely change up your diagram and or change up the domains that are included in that diagram. And in all likelihood, that additional juice will push you up there without having to use your PBNs.
Okay, great. That's what I had. I appreciate
Cool.
it.
Nice.
All right.
Nice work.
Thank you.
Thanks, Marmaduke, and hey, congratulations on getting on the front page for Montreal SEO. And
I hope that OMG will be at the top, so we can claim Montreal in the cities that we already have. So that'd be great.
all right, fantastic. Thanks for coming on, Marmaduke. All right, good. Okay, so Dave Zillman says, I've had that same problem where I sent a video proposal and they want a price, so I just put it in there, and I never heard from them again. So, again, when I do my proposals, and I send in, say, when I'm sending in my video proposal and my regular proposal, that's almost like the last step that I'm doing. And then I always set up a time for a meeting to go over, the proposal. So, after the interview, I'll say, listen, I'm going to put together something. I'm going to send it to you. And then, let's set up another meeting where we can discuss it. So I have a set time that I'm going to meet with that client again. And, after they watch my proposal, and then, and to either discuss it to see if they're going to go move forward or not. I don't just send it out there and then hope for the best. There's definitely kind of like there's definitely a follow through that takes place. So all right, let's see. We had a couple more hot seats of people that wanted to come on. So Cali Cal says, Cali from California. So maybe this wasn't I thought we talked to Cal already. Maybe this is a different Cali. Let me see if we can bring her on here. Hey, Cali.
Hey, hi from California. How are you guys?
Good, good, good.
Okay, I got a kind of a question about I'm trying to rank for my attorneys on a city, and the number one and number two sites that's beating me really don't even have more than the number two guy is maybe one page. The number one guy is from San Diego, and he's ranking his page on my city with his contact page. It's not even ranking any kind of like a main keyword category page, you know. So I've been trying to beat these guys, and I can't seem to. I'm already on page one, but number 6 position, and I've moved up a couple of times, but you know, it's just frustrating, you know.
So this is a lawyer in a city. Is it like a type of law, like DUI or bankruptcy?
It's a bankruptcy lawyer. I can give you the keyword. It's okay to look at it.
Well, it's how I don't want you to give us what you're doing, but like you don't have to give us your site, but bankruptcy lawyer in a city. How old is your site? How long have you been doing it for? Been trying to rank.
Yeah, my site's about 6 months old, and theirs is a little bit older than mine, maybe a couple of years old.
Couple of years old.
But
All
the
right.
number two guy, no long article. All he did was he probably just added a bunch of bankruptcy terminology on his front page. You know, all kinds of legal names or legal courthouses, and he did have a couple of strong PBNs, but that's about all he did, you know. I mean, it was an ugly one-pager.
So the whole site is only one page?
Yeah, other than his contact page, you know, that's it. I'm like, he's number 2 on Google listings and number 1 or 2 on page 1. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the other guy, San Diego attorney, he's from San Diego. You know, I mean, he's ranking number 1. I guess he has a bigger, more pages than we do. That's all I can think of. You know.
Yeah.
But I've never got past number 3. You know, it's like, oh. And then a week later, I'm down to 5 or 6 again. I'm like, what do I do with this guy?
All right. Well.
More PBS.
Yeah. I mean, what I would do is I would just, go through again. Greg's, he had that great section on the mastery. Make sure that your site is set up correctly. That your
I think so.
Your content's correct. Everything else is correct, and then just sometimes it takes time, and some sites rank, and you wonder, man, how is that ranking? And it's just sometimes it's their age, how old they are. It could be that they're an EMD. It's the engagement that happens. One of the ranking factors is how long someone's on your site, how many clicks they get, what's the bounce rate. So there's a few different factors that go into ranking.
Got it.
So I mean, the best thing that you can do is kind of just just keep doing what you're doing.
But the number 2 guy on that page 1, his domain name is a .us.
Yeah,
it's a .us. I'm thinking he probably one of those age domain that they bought, and his law office don't have anything to do with that domain. And just again, just one 2-pager, no article, no keywords in that thing, just straight out, a bunch of legal names or legal terminology. He spammed it with legal terms.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's like, how is he doing that?
Well, I mean, what's the term?
Well, it's a bankruptcy attorney, right? Bankruptcy attorney plus the city,
Yeah.
and he has nothing on there, and he's even a doctor. He put doctor, whatever his name is. He didn't even say law office. He just says doctor with some weird name. So
Yeah. Well, like that's what I say is just keep doing what you're doing. Without looking at the site, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
But I would say that if you have good content on there and you have good PBNs going to your site, you're going to outrank him if he only has 2 pages. Plus, he may have pages you can't see, too. If you do a site colon and then put his site in there, you'll see all his pages. But all right, Kelly. Well, I'm actually
thank you so much.
Coming up to the end of 2 hours. All right, thanks for coming on. All right, we're coming up to the end here. It's been about 2 hours. Fletch had to jump off. I got to pick my son up in about 10 minutes. So what I want to do is let me see if I can get a few more questions. Anyone who wants to throw in some last-minute questions. Where can you find Fletch's password? If you go for Fletch's Sunday webinar, if you go into his area in either Director's Cut, Project J, Project X, or Breakthrough, if you go into his area, there'll be a password, and then you'll be able to hop onto his webinar. So, okay. Eric says, the 3-in-1 redirect question, if I rank a domain site and then want to redirect it, is this a problem in Google's eyes? Would this create issues for either the redirect site or target site or keywords? No, I mean, you can redirect any site you want. You want to be careful about buying, like, say, a bunch of PBNs or something and just redirecting those. But if you have a site that you want to redirect to another site, it should be fine. If I understood your question correctly. So there. All right. Good. Well, let me do this. I don't have a ton of questions coming in. I know I had one more person who wanted a hot seat. Let me see if they're still here. I got some time, so I'll bring them on live. Let me see. Well, let me see. If you're still here and I haven't brought you on a hot seat, just put in the question box that you still want to come on. I know there was one more person. I just can't find them right now looking through the question box. So just say, I want to come on for a hot seat. Okay, yeah, it's Andre, looks like. Andre. So, all right, Andre, let me get your mic ready. I'm going to bring you on in a second. I'll bring you on in a second. Paul D. Fletch is going to be 11 o'clock on Sunday. All right, so Chris Lee asks, hey, Joe and Fletch, not sure if you want to address this on the Webby or not. Okay, I understand when you guys were getting started with your business, did you guys ever find yourself with having no one to support you or to encourage you? And if yes, what would you do? Or any suggestions on keeping your head up? Thank you, guys. Sorry, I know it's the end of the webinar. Chris, I know when I first started, it was very difficult for me because I had always owned businesses. I've had businesses. We kind of have a household. My wife never really had to work, but I was in a position where I didn't have a lot of money when I started. We were coming off some major losses, and it was tough. I did not have huge support, right? Because when you're working from home or you work all day and come home and you're on the computer, maybe sometimes your loved ones, they don't understand. They think you're just on Facebook or you're just on that computer all the time. And so yeah, it was tough. It was tough. I did not have a lot of support. The good thing that you guys have here is that you do have support. You have support in the Facebook group. You can collaborate with each other. There's a lot of people. You know, when I first started, I started to connect with people who were doing the same thing I was doing, who was kind of in the same boat I was, and that really helped to encourage me. You know, and it helped to keep me going. So, and it does get easier. Horton asks, where do I find the questions you showed us earlier? They should be in the question box. I dropped them in the question box. I'm in AHP and Director's Cut. Can Director's Cut sign up for Fletch's webinar? I think you can. I tell you what, Kevin, I don't know. So you can message Fletch on that. Just message him, and I know he wanted to open it up to a lot of people. So you're welcome, Chris. That helped you out. Good. There's no link in Director's Cut. Yeah, I don't know about the Director's Cut. You might want to just ask Fletch about that. Any recommendations for the best local business theme? You know, it just depends, Rizal. I know there's a business theme. The Director's Cut skin. You can use that. If you do have Genesis and Studio Press, there's a lot of different themes you can choose from. It depends on the business, really, you know, and the look that you're going for. Okay, so let me bring on it, Andre, while I can. Hey, Andre, you there?
Yeah, Joe, I'm here.
All right, fantastic. Okay, Andre, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Toronto.
Toronto, fantastic. All right,
Yeah.
Andre, what is your hot seat question?
Okay, Joe. Okay, so, you know, I've been working with a few clients here and there, and although it's, you know, it's tough to get the clients, I think I'm doing okay with that. I've built out a couple of sites, in particular, one for affiliate. I actually haven't built it out for affiliate yet, but I have another one which is a guide, and I've been kind of struggling with how to actually set up the site with regards to putting the different like the different markets, right? The different niches. So, like for example, I currently have 4 on the site. So, one for caterers, one for wedding planner, one for limo, and one for wedding videographer. Now, I don't have any of these guys yet. My question is, how I mean, would one of the ideas be to, you know, take a video that I found. In particular, there's this one videographer that's really great, and I kind of wanted to take their video, download it, upload it to my, you know, to my Vimeo or to my YouTube or whatever, embed it on that site, rank it, and you know, with the tools that you have suggested in one of your in your training, like with Money Robot, I'm all set up and good to go with that, and VPS and all of that, and then, you know, get that up and running. I mean, is that one of the ways that you guys would do? Or one ways you would do lead gen, or get a client to say, hey, I mean, wow, that's great, you know what I mean, and then take it to the next level? Or how, you know, what would you I'm just trying to get that together, as well as, like, I mean, how would I be capturing, you know, clients on that, potential clients that are looking for that service, you know? So I'm kind of all around this right now.
All right, so you have a couple of things going on. You have kind of like a My City Guide site.
Yeah.
Like, say, Toronto City Guide, and on there you want to make a page for limos and different things, and then you want to rank those pages and then lease them out or sell the leads?
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
And then the other idea you had was find someone who has a really nice video, upload it to your YouTube channel, and then put it on the page and then rank it.
Exactly, yes.
Okay. Well, so you have a few different options. Now, that strategy I've used before where I found people who have made really nice videos. I think I did a sample of a roofer, and I think I showed that on some of the promo webinars where I actually went on YouTube, found a really good roofing video, then uploaded it to my channel and ranked it. So if I do that, that's kind of what I do is I'll rip that video from YouTube, I'll put it on my channel, I'll rank it on page 1, then I'll contact the business owner and says, hey, you know that really awesome video you made that wasn't getting you many views? Look, I put it on page 1. It has already a bunch of views. This is what we do. I did that to get your attention, whatever. So, that's one way to get your foot in the door. The other thing I've done is I've ranked the video, put a tracking number on it, and after the person got a couple of phone calls from that video, then I'll contact them and say, listen, that video that probably wasn't making you a ton of money, well, it is now because look at these phone calls I was able to help generate. And I have the proof there because they have the tracking number. When they look at the video, they see that's on page 1. That's one strategy you can do. As far as a city guide, that's a little tougher because now what you're doing is you're ranking pages for a specific niche and then trying to lease those pages in a one big guide site. Have you been able to rank any of those pages, like the limo page or any of those pages yet?
I haven't really, to tell you the truth. I've just built it, and it's kind of been sitting dormant because I've been focusing on other things. But I kind of want to start focusing my attention on there. One of the other ideas that I had thought of was, running a subdomain off of each of a subdomain for each specific niche, and then having a link on the main site. Go to each and every one of those subdomains, right? And specifically that subdomain would be only on that niche, like for example, the caterer or the limo or whatever. I'm just not, is that dangerous or what?
Well, no, it's not dangerous. It's just, here's what I like to do is what Google wants to do is it wants to rank something that's relevant, okay? And it's going to put you in a certain kind of category of who you are, what this website's about, and then it knows where to rank you. So if you're a directory site like Yelp, okay, they know that's a directory site, so they rank for different people looking for reviews on different businesses. If Google can't determine exactly what your site's about, you may have a harder time getting it to rank. So if I was going to go after this, like what you're doing, say I want to do limos, I would create a limo site for Toronto. That site would be on limos. I would get to know the limo business. And then I would rank that site, rent it out, sell the leads, then do another limo site in another city. Because then because even if you're selling leads or you have a client or whatever, you need to know about that business. So if you don't have a client, he's not telling you about it, so you have to learn about it. So you're relevant. But if you're trying to do limo, photographer, this and that and the other thing, you're spreading yourself pretty thin. So if you could take all your energy, put it into one niche, rank that site for that niche, then take all that knowledge you did to rank that one site, then it's easier to recreate that for another site in another city. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah, it does. It does. Okay, so I forgot what I was going to ask you. I got caught up in the moment there. So hold on a second. So I should keep that city guide site specifically just dedicated to like a guide. Like I mean, the first page of that city guide site is basically a guide site. Like I mean, you know, things to do in and around Toronto. One of the things that I decided I wanted to why I wanted to do that was because the site is verified and it's got a nice Google Plus page. You got a lot of followers, and some of those followers that are following it are these guys. Like, you know, I got a really great caterer following it, right? I got a limo guy following it. You know, I got a few photo guys following it. So I was thinking I would just use them, right? And after checking them out, of course, and you know, and see if I could, you know, bait them in that way to say, hey, listen, this is how we can help you. But I mean, you know, I understand what you're saying there. Like, you know, just focus on a specific one, make a site for that, and go to it.
And look, there's different ways you can do it too. I mean, that's the way my thinking is, and from my experience, you know, that's kind of what I do, because it's easier. And it's not saying you can't. I mean, Greg put up the Franklin TN guide site, and he had it ranking for different things. So it's just really how you set it up. So you said you have people that are following the site?
Yeah.
Okay, Mitch, what are they following? They're following the site, or are they following you on
They're
social
following
media?
the Google Plus page.
They're following, and they're local people? They're local?
Yeah, they're local people, and you know, I got a stack going on that site, and the stack is, you know, is pushing things in Toronto. Plus, it's pushing things in and around Toronto that not only feature sites and attractions, but they also feature, you know, nice places to eat and caterers and stuff like that. So it's all kind of like tying it together, and that stack is pushing to, you know, to the Facebook site for that, and the Blogger and the Tumblr and all of that. So it's moving well. It's just I'm not really making anything on it right now.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, and you know, it's if you could get it to work and you can get people to follow it, what you have more is a directory kind of / tour guide site that you can sell ads on. You know, you can probably sell people on pages. You know, rent this page out on my site because it's getting all this traffic. You know, so I mean that's something you can do too to monetize it.
yeah, you know, I got what do you call it, AdSense going on that account, which is not bringing in much, but I mean, you know, it's just because I guess I haven't dedicated enough time to it and to, you know, spend the time and effort to actually get it powerful enough. But you know, you've given me some good ideas, so you know, I think I might you know, start doing what you recommended there.
I mean, look, there's a lot of different ways to do marketing, and different ways work for different people. So it's whatever works best for you. You know, you gotta weigh it out, and whatever you think you can sell. Like for that site too, is if you sell advertising, you could sell banner ads, right? So you can tell someone, look, it's $100 a month. My site gets 4,000 Toronto visitors visit my site, and we'll put you know, you can have a, you know, people visit 4,000 visitors visit this site a month, and we'll put your ad for $200. You know, you can sell banner ads. Like there's a lot of different things you can do once you start getting traffic to it. But I would view it more as you're going to be getting traffic, and I don't know, you know, seeing how you can monetize it that way from the traffic, especially if it ranks for Toronto City Guide. You know, you may have restaurants that want to,
you know,
just advertise on there, because if you're ranking for Toronto City Guide and they're a restaurant, they may want to pay you for you to do a write-up on them, or for you to have a page, you know, so it's a different way. It's not like ranking for a restaurant Toronto. It's you it's someone who's visiting the city guide, and then you're advertising this, so you're becoming more like a newspaper, you know?
Sorry, Joe?
Oh, I just got to think. I was just saying that it's more that it's people are, if you rank for city guide, people are coming to your site from Toronto City Guide, off of that term. So you may be able to sell advertising to restaurants or other people.
Well, see, one of the things that's coming up right now is the Pan Am Games are coming here, shortly in the next few months, and I haven't done anything on that, but I kind of wanted to, see if I could get some traffic with, Pan Am Games or, search-related keywords to because it's going to be, it's being searched all over, right? And so it's just a matter of tying it in and monetizing on, I guess, like as you said, that traffic.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I got to get rolling. I didn't realize how late it was.
No worries.
So,
Thank you, Joe.
Andre, I hope that helped you out, and thanks for coming on.
Great. Thanks, Joe.
All right. Fantastic. Good. All right, guys. Well, listen, I want to thank everyone for coming on. Went a little bit over 2 hours here, so I got to get rolling. So hopefully we'll see you guys again next week, and make sure you catch Fletch's webinar. It's going to be Sunday at Sunday morning. So, all right, guys, we'll talk to you later.